What's up, everybody? It's your girl Sakina, and I'm back for another Greenleaf review. This is my review for season 5, episode 2. So let's get straight into it. We're just gonna go out of order. You know, some things are more important than others, so let's just go ahead and get the little stuff out the way. So you got Sophia and Zora. Sophia is giving Dante a call. You know, she's been blowing him up, so she's nervous. She don't know what to say. She's giving this long-winded voicemail talking about how a lot of stuff is going on. She wants an update on what's going on with him and Nikki, all this other stuff. So she leaves the voicemail. We later see that she tried to give him a call back, but he didn't answer. Instead, it was Nikki that answered. So once she had picked up the phone, she was like, "Hey, is Dante around?" And Nikki said no and hung up the phone. Fast forward to the end of the episode, and Zora approaches Sophia like, "Did you send Dante a titty pic?" And she was like, "Yeah, why?" And come to find out, obviously Nikki has something to do with her titties being out on social media, on the World Wide Web. That's why I don't send nudes, okay? Y'all need to keep in mind that, yes, once you send a nude, it's for whoever that person is to do whatever the hell they want with. So just keep that in mind. I don't send nudes. If you want to see me, you got to see me in the flesh. Ain't no damn videos, ain't no pictures being sent, because I don't play them type of games, okay? My body is a temple, and everybody can't gain access to this, okay? As we already know, Zora and Sophia are in the process of making up. Sophia goes down to her little cabin area and was asking for a playlist that she had made. I'm guessing that the playlist was maybe of gospel music or something along those lines, but Sophia wants a playlist to give it to AJ while he's in the hospital. And this is the time where they decided to make up, you know, their family, so they're gonna stick together. This is when Sophia also mentions that she gave up her virginity to Dante, and 3 days later he started acting funny. Listen, okay? And no, ma'am. Sophia, you gave it up too easy to him. I feel like they didn't even know each other that long. I don't know if it was because he was a basketball player or what, but honey, no, ma'am. Because look how he playing you now. The episode starts off with Grace at the hospital. She's waiting to get an update. In regards to AJ, we find out that he is in stable condition. We all thought that AJ had done left us, okay, and went on home to glory, but obviously not. He's in stable condition. He did have to go through a blood transfusion because, of course, when he slit his wrist, he lost a lot of blood. And he also has to be evaluated for his psyche. So everybody went home, and the doctor is trying to convince Grace to do the same, but she wants to stick around and wait until she's able to see him. But she's letting her know, like, look, he may not want to see you when he awakes, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So you may want to go home and wait until tomorrow. She finally decides to go home, and she lets us know that Noah is actually on his way, so we can expect to see him soon. Now, down at the house, Lady Mae is still on her fast. We thought she was going to break it because her and Bishop decided to get married. But with all the stuff going on with AJ, she doesn't want to get married until he's squared away. Grace and Sophia come home, and they ask about his condition. Grace hands over the keys to Mavis's club and gives it to Bishop. Now, I had already thought, okay, this is apparently where they're going to be as far as their new church. The bar obviously had been empty for a year, so this would be the perfect place for them. Charity walks in and asks Grace how AJ is doing. Grace don't want to hear nothing from Charity, so she keep it real short and vague. She said, AJ's fine. Charity is like, dang, just fine? Are you sure? You know, that's how you can give me? She's like, yeah, he's fine. No extra details. Lady Mae had to intervene and was like, did you forget that you tried to get her son locked up and you gave our church away? Listen, don't nobody want to talk to you about this right now, okay? Because you can't be trusted. And of course, she read Charity down with some good old Christian shade and then called her Judas as she's getting up trying to square up with her daughter. Bishop had to hold her back like, oh my gosh, let me find out you really trying to lay hands on your daughter like she just some type of random off the streets. Lady Mae was on one, okay? And she was ready to go. While Bishop is trying to hold Lady Mae back, he also let Charity know, like, look, I'm sorry, but I actually side with your mom. What she's saying is not wrong. So then Charity storms off and was like, oh, I'm going to work with people like me. Who like you at church, sis? Because Hope and Harmony ain't featuring you. Phil then left you for that white girl, and the choir director is gone. He was your only ally, sis. Who likes you? Once Charity storms off, Bishop was like, look, I want us to get married. Can we please set a date? And Lady Mae said, okay, we'll get married on Flag Day, which is June 4th or June 14th. One of those. Don't get me wrong, but they decide to get married on Flag Day, so he's happy. Zora and Carissa are in the room folding clothes, and they're having a good conversation. Carissa asks her how Nikki is and the situation between her and Dante. Zora says that one minute they fight and the next minute they not. They do a lot of back and forth, toxic relationship type of things. She feel like they need to go ahead and get a room and be together because it's just too much for her. Carissa's trying to get out of her how she's really feeling about the situation with AJ, but you could tell that Zora is really deflecting and not really trying to think too much about that. Jacob comes in and their relationship is already weird as far as him and Carissa. So Zora is definitely picking up on that. They say that they have this meeting that they need to go to, and Zora is being real nosy trying to see what kind of meeting this is. She assumes that the meeting is for counseling, but we already know what the meeting is for. So you can tell that Zora is getting real suspicious as to what's going on with her parents. Charity goes up to the church, and as she's prancing on by, saying hey to everybody, she noticed that the piano is outside of her office. As she walks in, the office is painted pink, and the trimming is supposed to be, Confederate white, and the walls was, plantation pink. No, God. So she's upset. She goes and storms into Phil's office. Like, you mean to tell me you got this bitch taking my office now? Like, is she really just trying to hurt me? Phil says that she's trying to take some type of ownership as far as the church. But the church is actually about to be torn down within a week. So you already know Judy is on her petty shit and Charity is not here for it. She told Phil that, she wants to have a sense of ownership, but Phil acting like she owned him. Exactly, like I said, slave master. Charity is really in her feelings about this situation with Phil, and she has a right to be. She loved this man. He got on and left her ass for a white girl. Kanye West tried to tell her. But nonetheless, she goes into the bathroom and she's crying about it. But we get another scene where her and Phil are talking about the ramp. Remember last week, they had somebody in the board meeting asking if the temporary location is going to be accessible. Phil said yes, but come to find out it's not. So they have to get a general contractor to get somebody to build the ramp, and they have to do it within a certain amount of time. While they're talking about that, Judy comes in, and of course she's trying to kiss all up on Phil. Obviously, they have no chemistry. I don't know why he even slept with her to begin with, before, back in the day. But she's trying to rub it in Charity's face. I like how Charity handled it. She didn't let her let this get her down or see her in a weak moment or whatever the case. But Judy goes ahead and puts Charity on the task to get the ramp done because she's seen what she does with the choir. So she's like, look, I'm going to hand this over to you. So before Judy walks out, Charity makes it known that, hey, Phil is only marrying you because your dad told him to. He's still in love with me. And that's where she messed up. Like, girl, just let her have it. Just let her think that she's working with something. You already know what it is. Judy know what it is. So you don't need to really say anything. Just let it be. But nah, she had to go ahead and embarrass herself. Judy, made some type of shady remark towards her, and that was what it was. But it's like, Charity, you just gotta let her think that she running shit. She not really running shit. The man didn't even kiss her back when she kissed him. So it's just like, girl, leave that where it's at. Lady Mae and Bishop pay a visit down to Mavis's bar, and they're going through, everything is dark and dusty, and you can tell that it has been vacant for some time. So Bishop is like, I can see it. Let's do it here. But of course, Mae has her doubts. She doesn't want any parts of the bar. She really wants to gut the whole thing and get rid of it because she feels like there's hella skeletons in this bar, and there may be some damn bodies buried down below. So she really wants to start from the ground up. But, Bishop feels like it's best to talk to Mavis about it first. He starts to do all this reminiscing about the good old days back at the bar. Mae tries to give him an ultimatum. Either you gut this place from the ground up or I'm out of here and none of this is happening. So we get a scene where Bishop is actually online. I guess he did some research on where Mavis is. I don't know. But he's online. He gets the number to the bar that she's at now. He tries to talk to her over the phone, but while he's put on hold, for some reason, he just decides to hang up. He goes to Lady Mae and lets her know, like, hey, I hired a contractor to go ahead and start the demolition or the renovations. So we're good to go. Mae asks, okay, did you speak to Mavis about it? He said no, because they really don't need her permission. Now, he's getting all hype and excited about this. And then he mentions them getting married again. And Mae is like, Bishop, we already talked about this. You could tell that he legit forgot about it, and then he had to go back and really think about it. And he was like, oh yes, we're supposed to get married on Flag Day. And this is very alarming to Lady Mae. You can tell that she's very worried, because then he starts saying, yes, Flag Day, I'm going to mark every calendar that we have in this house. And it seems like he may have early signs of dementia or Alzheimer's. Y'all don't judge me. I never know how to pronounce that right. But yes, y'all know what I'm saying. We already know that he has Parkinson's disease. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't really know too much about the disease. Bishop is going to have some health issues further on than what he already has. Once Lady Mae caught wind of what's going on with Bishop, child, next thing you know, she down in the kitchen eating some pasta. She said, I need to go ahead and eat because I'm going to need some strength to take on what's going to happen in the future. So Marisol is trying to get her to eat something fresh. And she was like, look, you can make something fresh, but this pasta right here, this is mine. So she's trying to get all the nourishment that she can so she can go ahead and face these demons that's ahead of her. All right, back to Grace. So Grace is chilling in her room. She gets a call from Darius, and he wants her to ride with him to actually go visit Calvin. Forgot his last name. But y'all remember him from last season. Grace was trying to get him not to sell his church to Harmony and Hope. So she agrees to go down to Calvin's house to get some more information on the whole Harmony and Hope instigation that they have with Bob. Now, once they get to his house, Calvin already knows what's up. Bob had already told him about the stories and told everybody that's involved in the merger not to talk about what's going on with Harmony and Hope. So Grace is like, wait, I thought you wasn't giving your church away. And he said that he wasn't, but he was very hesitant to even go any further and close the door on him. Grace is like, hold on, wait. For somebody who doesn't want to merge and for a church to not really want to talk to the press about what they have going on, there's obviously something that's being hidden. Duh. I don't know why Bob is going around town trying to prevent people from talking, because they definitely are going to raise eyebrows. And Darius then asks Grace if they could catch up, some more over dinner. And Grace is like, no, because I have to go to the hospital. I'm trying to see my son. Noah is coming into town. So he asks, what's the situation with his wife? How does she feel about this? And then Grace tells him they're no longer married, at least to her knowledge, because what's her name? Isabel, something like that. She done kicked him out. And Darius wants to know what's ahead for Grace and Noah. But Grace don't want nothing to do with him. She said, look, we just there for our son. Grace meets Noah up at the hospital. And when they greet each other, they're greeted with this awkward ass hug. You can tell that Grace is not really comfortable with seeing him. But he basically lets Grace know that she is strong for dealing with all that she has to go through. He is moving back. He is staying with his mom for the moment until he finds him a place. And he really wants to see what's going on with AJ before he can assess anything else. The nurse comes out, or the doctor, whoever she is, to give them another update. And she's like, look, AJ don't want to see neither one of y'all. And I get so annoyed with AJ's character. I understand that these two people have put you through a lot, especially this is the first time that you're meeting Noah. So I understand why you may not want to meet him in this type of situation. But the way you do Grace, and she done bent over backwards for your ass, he irks my nerves with that shit. It's like, I understand where you're coming from, but don't feel like you can use Grace up and then just do whatever the hell and treat her however you want to treat her. Like, nah, she's actually trying with you and you don't want to see her. Like, I would have left his ass there. Like, I would have never even came back. Fuck it. Fuck it, okay? After they leave the hospital, Noah wants to meet up with Grace and says that they have a lot to talk about. But Grace declines. She doesn't want to talk. He's talking about he wants to be a family with her and AJ. And it's like, I don't know how you think that's going to be possible. AJ is a grown-ass man who got a badass attitude, who is traumatized from his past. Honey, no, it's not going to be that easy. Like Grace said, you can't just pick this shit up from a store. No, sir. Grace was basically saying how she doesn't feel like she's even a part of her own family, and she's been back in Tennessee for 3 years. And he was like, well, that's just how you operate. And when he said that, she got real mad and was like, take it back. Ain't no taking that back. I mean, he said what he said, and you have every right to feel the way that you feel, but ain't no taking that back, sis. He said what he said. Once AJ left, the doctors know that he didn't want to see his parents. Grace is outside of the house and she's stressed. You can tell she's thinking. And Lady Mae walks up and was like, hey, I just came from Faith's gravesite. She likes to go there because it makes her think about the signs that she may have missed. And she also thinks about how Grace is blessed to have a second chance with AJ. And that's when she's like, look, AJ doesn't even want to see me. And Lady Mae is like, look, when Faith passed away, I used to go in her room all the time and I go to her gravesite. This just makes me think about, an idea of her or the thought of her. She thinks about how they're going to get together when she goes to heaven. She knows that these things aren't real. I really think it helps her with her grieving process. You can just see the growth in their relationship. We already know the relationship with Lady Mae and Grace was not good for a good, 3-4 seasons. So it's great to see them in this place where Lady Mae is very supportive of Grace and very understanding. Charity walks up in the middle of their conversation and Lady Mae is getting ready to go. But Charity stops her dead in her tracks and was like, look, what can I do to fix it between you and Grace? And Grace is very annoyed. She decides to get up and leave because she's not trying to hear that shit. Charity doesn't want it to be like that because she got Judy down at the church and she has Grace and Lady Mae mad at her. She's like, look, do y'all want me to leave? Because I don't want to be dealing with this type of thing for forever. And Lady Mae is like, excuse me, your sister is dealing with her suicidal son who does not want to see her. And I'm just fresh off the gravesite of my dead daughter, Faith. You keep talking about all these problems that you have when you don't know real problems. You can tell that made Charity think. So then she goes and tries to see Grace. She goes to her room and gives her an envelope. The envelope has a poem that was written to her baby. Remember, Charity was pregnant with twins, but only one made it. The girl didn't. So she wrote a poem out to the baby, and Grace is reading it, and she's like, my son isn't dead. And Charity was like, I know he isn't dead, but I lost a child too. And she tries to use this moment to bond with Grace, and it backfired because Grace is like, look, my son ain't dead. I don't even know why you said this to me. You made my situation into yours. Girl, get the fuck on. And it's like, it was a nice gesture, but to insinuate that her son is dead when he's not, it's kind of like, yeah, Charity, no, girl, what the hell? We also got a scene where Grace got a phone call from Calvin. I knew that it was bound to happen for him to give her a call back because he trusts Grace. He already had worked with her last season. So I already know that, he would give, if anybody, Grace some insight on what's really going on. So he called her and was like, this is all I got to say about the situation. After this, tell Darius, do not contact me. I don't have anything else to say about the matter. And then he drops a name. And the name is Edenvale Lending. So that's the company name, and he was like, that's it. Basically leaving Grace up to do the research. So we're going to see more about that next week, or I hope next week, because we already know Bob got something going on. So I'm interested to see what this company is. Now, on to Jacob and his storyline. The episode opened with him going through Mac's storage unit, and he was trying to go through some papers but couldn't find anything. But he did come across some fishing poles or fishing rods and the little fisherman's box, what they call it, a tiger box, something like that they mentioned earlier later on in the episode. But he leaves with that. Remember, Carissa and Zora was folding clothes and they mentioned a meeting. So that meeting that they were actually having was about their divorce. So Carissa's lawyer is like, look, have you been looking for a job? Because we already know you Tommy out here. You ain't got no damn job. And Jacob was like, really? Carissa's trying to use that against him. That way she can get primary custody of little baby. So Jacob is like, did you tell them about your work history, honey? You ain't out here stable on your shit either. Jacob wants to get shared custody of the little boy. And I don't know if that's going to happen because he signed the papers. The lawyer handed him over, the agreement, and he signed it. So it's like, okay, are you getting shared custody, or did you just give away the primary custody to Carissa? Like, I was confused by that. I don't know. Y'all let me know. While they're doing all of that, Zora is babysitting little baby. And when they come back home, she's like, what's going on? Like, I've been watching y'all kid. I already know that there's something going on. Y'all getting a divorce, isn't it? Just tell me what's up. She storms out, and Jacob is upset at Carissa because she let him take all the blame for their marriage not working out. Carissa's whole thing is, look, I've been dealing with your shit for 20 years. I cheated one time and you want to go ahead and divorce me. But it's like, Carissa, ma'am, I mean, he was trying to get right and you did not want him. Like, you, like I said before, you're not likable. So what is he supposed to do? Now, he was dead wrong for messing with that white girl. But, I mean, sis, what do you want him to do? You're not all of that as far as personality. So I don't know why the hell he would stick around. Jacob wants to go ahead and let Zora know the truth. And Carissa is like, look, you go ahead and tell her the truth if you want to. And we'll see who's going to be walking up to the police station with that will in hand. And it's like, you really using this whole will thing over his head. And it's pissing Jacob off. He goes ahead and calms down because we all know he doesn't want that will to get any further than where it already is. They're doing all of this arguing. And the kid was in the next room sleep. So that wakes him up and he's calling for Carissa. So Carissa goes out to him. Later on, Jacob takes him down to the pond and they go fishing together. And Jacob was like, look, I know that you heard what me and mommy was talking about, but you know, you gonna be straight, yada, yada, yada. And he goes through the little box, the little fishing box, and he pulls up the paper of the will and testament of Loretta Davis, the lady that they allegedly stole the property from. So he's reading it and you know, he's just like, oh my gosh. Next thing you know, the last scene that we get from the show is him knocking on somebody's door. I thought he was going back to, what's her name, Alexis, white receptionist. I thought he was going back to her house, but no, he was going and knocking on the door of Tasha Skanks. And he was like, you know, I need to talk to Basie. And Tasha was like, honey, Basie is dead. Now remember, he had got chased down by somebody. Him and his sister was being followed by somebody when they was at the store on a runaway trip. I guess whoever followed him finished the job. I don't know. Like, damn, Basie. I'm thinking that Jacob was trying to talk to him because, you know, Basie's dad had got burnt in the church or whatever. Maybe that's why he was trying to reach out to him because, you know, Bishop had something to do with the church burning down and his father just so happened to be in it at the time. But I'm real interested in seeing how that goes. You know, that was the end of the episode. My thoughts on it is that this episode was good, of course. There's not a bad episode of Greenleaf that I've come across. To be honest, I am really not interested in Sophia's storyline. Like, I really don't give a damn about her. Zora got more of a storyline interest than she does. And Zora don't even have nothing going on right now. Yeah, they can really get rid of her because her character is the least interesting out of everybody. But that's my thoughts on the episode, y'all. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.